Welcome back to Dudes Doing Business. This is episode 69. My name is Dave, and I'm the host. And we've got a special episode today. We're joined by the one and only Big T-shirt Matt. He is not only a guy who we reference often on all the podcasts, but he also works here. And we're going to talk to him. Before we jump into that, I want to talk about our sponsor, Man Outfitters. You've probably guessed that they sponsor this podcast, as well as all of them. And we got some hot deals. I want to get Joe on here real quick to give us a rundown.
Yeah, we got good stuff. It's the end of the season now, so we're kind of getting a bunch of new stuff coming in. I think there's new Patagonia and Southern Marsh kind of leading the charge right now. But, if you're looking to save a few bucks, haven't closed as many deals lately as you'd like, there's also a ton of stuff on sale for this winter clearance event. And that's, past season stuff. Still good, still great quality. Plenty of Patagonia, Columbia.
Timeless stuff.
You just can't go wrong. And, it's still going to be pretty cold in most of the country for a little bit. So you might as well stock up on, one of these jackets or something. And, we're giving you, as always, 10% off your order. All you got to do is use the promo code DUDES. That is DUDES, as in Dudes Doing Business, if you did not get the reference.
Right.
But, check it out and, enjoy the show.
Yeah, you never know when you'll get hit with the polar vortex. You always got to be looking out for that. So thank you, Joe. Thank you, Man Outfitters. Let's hop into it. All right, let's do this. We got Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Dave. Long time no talk.
Yeah, no, we just talked.
Yeah.
You and I.
Right. About what?
Man Outfitters.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, I heard we got some sales on there. No, I'm kidding. We got Madison on here, too. What's up?
What's up, Dave? I like the Blue Casey's.
Thank you. Getting a little bit more country.
I see what you're doing over there.
Well, it adds like an inch and a half to my height.
Yeah.
Dude heels.
Dude heels.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like your Sturgill Simpson shirt.
Yeah, this is like on the extreme end of like I don't know what kind of spectrum. I have a spectrum of style. And this is on the extreme end of it.
Okay.
It's a little
Do you
aggressive.
own a lot of band shirts?
No, no, I don't.
Okay.
This is like I don't even know what this material is. It's really comfortable, but it's like fucking, it's out there.
Yeah, that's aggressive for you, but you've been wearing it for a while, and you're as big of a Sturgill fan as I am. So
I bought this through a marketing email that I was sent because I guess I'm on the email marketing list for Sturgill Simpson.
Nothing says
There you go.
Nothing says acid alt country like an email list.
That's what I'm going for. Acid alt country is the vibe I'm going for. So
No, it's a good look. We should probably get into all the band shirts we've owned over the years. That could be funny.
Oh, man.
I had the classic, the Nirvana, like smiley face with the X's on the. Or what was it? It's like
the black and yellow.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the tongue out. Yeah, I had that one.
What shirts did you have, Matt Cisneros, our hot guest today?
Who?
Oh, maybe you should introduce him first.
It's Big T-shirt Matt, guys.
Whoa.
Here I am.
Why is he wearing such a tiny T-shirt?
Yeah, what's that? This is
It's not even a T.
you've disappointed a lot of people.
I had a promo code for a slim fit.
Okay, that's a shirt. Let's give them a shout out. Let's give Cricket a shout out. Why not?
Shout out to Cricket.
Billy
Yeah.
and Hobson. We've talked about them before. They're what? Oh, you would know this. What's the name of the baseball with Richard Linklater? What's the name of that?
McConaughey.
club?
Playboys.
The Play. I
What
knew
a
it was a cool name. They're
great
called the
name.
Playboys, and it's just like a bunch of like really cool Austin socialites that play baseball.
I didn't get the invite.
I didn't either.
Yeah, no, we talked about it. I hurt my shoulder that year. But this isn't about me. This episode's about Matt Cisneros. Matt, what do you do?
At Grandex, I head sales and business development.
So you develop business.
That is in my title,
You
correct?
sell.
I do.
What are you selling?
I'm selling anything from advertising and partnerships to wholesale rowdy gentleman gear.
Wholesale. That's huge.
All of the sale.
Yeah.
B2B, B2C, you know.
I've always been a big B2B guy, as has Matt. Let's talk about big picture stuff. But before we get into that, let's talk more about band shirts.
Man, you just won't let this one go.
I can't. Well, I'm starting to think of all these band shirts. I
What
used to
band
own.
shirts
Yeah.
did you have?
I
had a corn shirt.
Oh, man.
so that's kind of how I got into big T-shirts.
Band.
I was at a Blink-182
Dude,
concert.
we got an origin story.
Yeah, they only had double XL, so I opted to get that because I really liked the band, and that's how it started.
Okay.
Figured you'd like grow into it, or
I didn't know. That's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah, I still haven't grown into it.
So let's explain Big T-shirt Matt, because I feel like Will DeFreeze coined this name probably like a year ago.
That he did. What happened was I took advantage of a discount at Man Outfitters and purchased a Patagonia shirt.
Not that different than the one I'm wearing right now.
Correct,
Very
same
similar.
color. So, truly, between a medium and a large, but I went for the large. Bad call. I showed up at the office one day and insecurely asked every one of my friends here.
You fucked up. You asked me, and
Yeah.
I did you wrong.
You did.
Matt was going office to office saying, "Hey, does this shirt look too big?"
Yeah, I was a little insecure about it. So, telling Dave was the wrong thing to do. He then conspired with Will to not only give me a nickname, but tell the rest of the office about my insecurity of the
Well,
T-shirt.
didn't he write a column?
He did.
Like,
which,
check out my
yeah.
coworker's giant T-shirt.
I found out about this column actually through Madison's wife while I was in the dentist chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
that's what you
It
get.
wasn't even that big.
that's how nicknames develop.
Yeah, but it's
It
great.
wouldn't have, we wouldn't have noticed it had you not been like, is this shirt big?
I'm glad it happened because I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. Because you were actually in the chopping block, right? Like Madison was about to get rid of you, and then he was like, well, we're getting content out of the guy.
I never caught wind of that, but
Oh, that's weird.
Wow.
Glad-
Delete
Yeah,
this, Micah.
so
No, so Matt and Madison, they can explain this, but they've known each other for a very long time, and I've known Matt for a long time, not quite as long. And Joe and Matt have a business relationship. I think that explains it. No. How do y'all know each other? How do we know Matt?
High school,
At Austin High,
correct. Go Maroons.
the Maroons.
Lowell forever, Austin High, oldest high school west of the Mississippi.
That's a
That's what
fun
they say.
fact. A lot of people don't know that.
1881 is when it was established.
Wow.
Yeah, we were.
That's over 100 years ago.
Matt and I have been good friends since high school, and then obviously through college, we were at Texas State, obviously, Dave and I, and Matt was at private school here in Austin at St. Ed's, and so when I guess you, similar to me, like did a lot of different shit out of school,
Correct.
and then whenever we got Grandex going, you were the first person I actually told about it because we were kind of keeping it on the DL.
Yeah, that was Little Woodrow's on West 6th.
Yep, classic spot.
We give them more plugs than anybody. They should be paying
We
us
just-
in booze.
We plug all the Austin hotspots.
We plug every Austin company for free. Have you noticed that? It's crazy.
I'm going to develop business with Woodrow's for a bar tab.
Yeah,
That'd be huge. Like
Let's
hundreds of dollars.
we should do the podcast live from Woodrow's.
Great idea.
you guys want to just go right now?
I've actually been thinking about it. Why don't you pack that shit up? Let's go to Woodrow's. Get that mixer board or whatever.
Well, so because when we started it, it was just me and Ryan, and it was just Ryan and I, and it started with the website, the comedy website, Total Frat Move, and at the time we were like 3 years out of school, and it was still too early to tell if it was going to lead to a viable business that we obviously hoped it would, and we didn't want to tell too many people about it because we didn't want to be the guys that failed trying to create a business based on a frat blog. So, we were just like, all right, we're just going to fucking heads down, do this. We're not going to like try to grow it by like spamming all our friends. We're going to like, if it works, then we'll start telling people. Like I was at the bar having beers with Matt and I was like, hey, I got to tell you something. I told him about it. And what was awesome is like TFM blew up so fast, and it was like before the internet was so crowded. So there just wasn't a lot of shit on there that like, you were like, oh, I know about that.
Yeah. I think you had to go home because you had a newborn. And I immediately went and told my then girlfriend, now wife. My mind was blown. It was like, that site that I'm talking about, that's Madison.
It's everywhere.
So I think eventually, Dave, you were in the know quickly thereafter, and then it was just kind of a wild thing that we all wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, and so I guess
Joe was in like 7th grade at this time,
yeah,
by the way.
Right. I was an avid fan.
Fuck.
It's funny how the telling people, even, I mean, back then, obviously it was more so because it wasn't so established, but it's always kind of a thing, like coming out of the, well, I don't want to say closet, coming out of the hazement, basically, to someone about who you actually work for. You know, it's like when I'm getting my hair cut, I'm not trying to explain the Grandex business model to anyone or the frat jokes, but you know,
Digital media company.
so that was the first time anybody from Grandex came out of the hazement to somebody to tell them what they did. So that's
true.
That's a magic moment.
That's true. So like after that, I mean, there was probably, I mean, like I said, Matt and I have been like, you know, really good friends for a long time, like both in each other's weddings and whatnot. So, you know, obviously like talked a lot about it, and eventually we hit a point where Matt was looking to move from banking to something else, and it was the right time when we were starting to push. We were starting like the initial research into how we would push Rowdy Gentleman into brick and mortar retail stores, and that's what Matt came on to figure out kind of from scratch.
So when do you think you'll figure that out?
Yeah, I actually don't work. I consult it out across overseas, and
Work smarter, not harder.
That's
That's
right.
the way you do it.
No, but Matt came on and really like figured out the whole retail landscape, which is the real reason why Matt is here, because we've had Ryan on to talk about trade shows, from apparel trade shows from a retailer perspective. So the retailer being like being Man Outfitters, or you know that where we carry a lot of products from a lot of different brands, and we're going to these trade shows to meet with the brands and see all their new stuff that they have coming out for future seasons. So Matt does some of that also on like on the business development part of his role, but then with Rowdy Gentleman, we are the clothing brand, and we're setting up our booth and showing all of our new stuff. That's like we'll be showing stuff for fall 2017 and meeting with our retail partners to write orders and whatnot. So
yeah, I've got the job that has to cater to Ryan and buy him beers and take him out to dinner and do things you don't want to do on a Tuesday night, and Ryan gets to sleep in and then go to his meetings the next day.
Yeah.
You know, I met Ryan when Ryan was still with St. Bernard's, and he was a buyer, and we were, I guess, doing business with him with RG. Matt was like, "Hey, we're going to the Loon in Dallas," which is, and now I guess they moved, but at their old location, it's a classic bar. He's like, "We're gonna meet this dude Ryan," and he's a fun guy. He's a wild man, but we're gonna go. I'm like, all right, so we go and we meet Ryan at the Loon, and he's just out of control. It's a crowded bar, and it's Dallas, and it's a good scene. It's like the right out of college spot in Dallas, and Ryan's just going nuts.
And to clarify, if you listen to this podcast, you've heard us talk about Ryan. He's been on the podcast. He heads up buying and merchandising for Man Outfitters, and he is the definition of like work hard, play hard. He
just
goes
set the
hard.
record for longest Instagram story of all time, because he's been in Egypt, or he's been in Europe and Egypt for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like Instagram novel at this point.
You know how like you'll see, and it's if you have one story, it's just one long deal, and if you have three, it separates it up into three. He legitimately, it looked like piano keys. It was like 40 at one time.
He told me he took like 1,500 photos in Egypt.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
You know, some might say the birthplace of civilization.
Yeah.
Some might.
Via aliens,
It's
right?
still up at, ancient aliens. It's still up in the air. Nobody knows for sure.
Every time he mentions Luxor, I sincerely think he's talking about the hotel in
God,
Vegas.
I tried so hard to come up with like a joke comment about the Luxor in Vegas. I couldn't think of anything clever.
There's still time.
Shout out to Luxor.
Yeah. Appreciate
Lux.
all you do.
But yeah, so that is true. Like Ryan is the client that at these trade shows, so he gets treated extremely well, whereas Matt is like our, and Matt plus Phil and Daniel on the wholesale team are like catering to our clients, which are the buyers of other retailers that carry our stuff.
Matt's so good at his job that he was able to land an office with the chillest dude in the company, Phil Battaglia.
Yeah, Chill Battaglia is quite the office mate.
That's huge.
I'm fortunate.
You're very lucky. We need to have Phil on.
So what is your trade show schedule like? Because I know it's intense and it starts on the 20th?
20th, Phil and I fly to New York, set up for the show, and it's kind of when it all kicks off. We've got New York for 5 or so days, then Dallas between, then on to Charlotte, and then to Vegas. So it's basically a month straight of traveling, trying to eat healthy, even though it's not quite possible. Trying not to drink on Monday nights, but you have to.
Just avoiding.
Well, you got the big T-shirts just in case.
Yeah, that's another. You can hide your gut with those T-shirts. So yeah, it's really just every day maintaining a work schedule and kind of forgetting what day it is, because it's 4 to 6 weeks of just constant grinding.
Yeah, that's insane to me. You're good at it though. You're like used to it. If I go on like a work trip for 3 days, it just like fucks me up, like my schedule. But,
yeah. It's something to get used to. Like when we went to L.A. 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, for those who don't know, I think I actually got to work out every day because you finally get in that routine of when you're traveling.
We were both just like jogging around the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
That was a good time.
Let's do it
A lot
again.
of business was done. We were staying fit.
It's important.
But that's like 4 weeks of just like hardcore flying around, and it's like getting the booths set up, and like, I mean, you guys have like crazy appointment schedules too, where you're meeting just with like buyer after buyer after buyer, and kind of going through the whole routine, and having to have like detailed notes on like this buyer, did this and this last season, and this is what we want them to do this season, and these are the different promos that we could offer them, and
it's every meeting you have, forget about the one before, because they don't know how stressful it was or what you've got going on. So it's all day of meetings and promoting the brand and educating people as to why we're an asset to them, and then you go home and shower quickly, and then you take somebody to dinner, and they don't care about the stressful day you had because it's a separate meeting. So next thing you know, that's going out till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, waking up and doing it all over again. So it's definitely work hard, play hard.
Just like they say, wine them, dine them, do business with them.
Episode
that's
69.
the old saying. Yeah. Wait, I'm not familiar with that. I guess I heard a different version. What challenges do you face in your role that are unique to this company?
Man, that is such a stock question.
Well, it's on the run sheet, so I read it.
Yeah. Like that, are we like interviewing him for a job right now? Like,
why don't we?
Well, he's fighting for his job.
Don't we have some like good listener questions? We don't need.
They're not. You got to follow the outline.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Chaos.
Let's toss it to some other podcasts. Let's just regroup. I'm gonna drink some more of this pre-workout, and then we're gonna crush user questions.
Let's do it.
Perfect plan.
Hello, I'm Ross Bullen, and I'm here to tell you about our sports podcast called Backdoor Cover, hosted by myself and Dylan Chivalry.
What's up, Billy?
How you doing, Dylan?
Fantastic.
Great. If you like sports or you have a gambling problem of some kind, we are probably the podcast for you. Again, the name is Backdoor Cover. We're on iTunes and SoundCloud. Every week we talk about the biggest stories in sports, pick some games. We talk about life.
We just have a lot of fucking fun.
We do. We have a great time. Hit us up, Backdoor Cover.
You're sitting at your desk. You're bored. You're combing through spreadsheets wondering how the hell you're supposed to distract yourself. You know what the answer is to that? The Touching Base podcast.
You got time to kill, baby. Kill it with us, Touching Base. Just give us a shot to earn your business. I promise we will not let you down. Thank you.
Subscribe on iTunes.
Hey guys, this is Rob Fox from Total Frat Move, and I'm here to remind you to listen to the Inside TFM podcast. We have new episodes every Thursday. If you want to hear me and the other TFM writers sitting around drinking beers and bullshitting about God knows what, anything from college news to fraternity news to just what's going on in the world, then definitely search TFM on iTunes and give us a listen and subscribe to the Inside TFM podcast.
Well, that was fantastic stuff, guys. What I want to do now is talk about mybookie.ag. If you're not familiar with MyBookie, you should be, because we legitimately talk about it on every podcast multiple times. But if you're new here, MyBookie is the place to go if you're looking to maybe get a little action on the weekend. You've got, college basketball. How about some NFL? How about some hot playoff games?
Conference championships coming up this weekend.
Conference championships. And the big game's coming up soon.
That's right. You can even bet on the Pro Bowl if you want,
Oh God.
if you're a real degenerate.
If you bet on the Pro Bowl, stop everything. Like, just check yourself into all the rehabs available.
Well, there's no reason to watch the Pro Bowl unless you're betting on it.
They went back to the old format, didn't they?
I saw that. Yeah.
Damn.
Get the AFC -2.5. That's what I would suggest. Just to follow up on what Dave said, we had a great Casino Friday this past Friday here at Grandex. You know, you can play all your sports wagering, plus you can bet live casino action. It's very exciting. We had a great time with Maddie. Shout out to her.
She made hella dollars.
Yeah, Maddie was our personal dealer on the TFM table, and we made her one of the richest women in Antigua today. So
Yeah.
or on Friday, I should say. But that's it. And you know, if you want to check it out, now's the best time. Use promo code BIZ, B-I-Z, get a 50% deposit bonus. Get in, get your money going, figure it out, get ready, and get ready for the big game.
Yeah, get ready for the big game. And, you know, here's how it works. You play, you win, you get paid.
Expert or rookie?
Please try out my bookie. All right. That was great. High energy stuff there. Let's get into your questions, because you guys submitted some of the best questions I've seen to date, and I see a lot of questions each day. Matt, are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Life's a big question, isn't it? All right. Let's read this first one. It's addressed to me, but I think we can all chime in here. I don't know who it's from, but shout out to this person. Hey, Dave, got a question for DDB. In my professional selling class, we were told that the 4 steps to a sales call are 1, establish rapport, 2, needs discovery, 3, make presentation, 4, close, obviously. That all seems like a bunch of bullshit to me, and was wondering if you could bless us with your steps to a sales call. I'm going to do you one better, anonymous guy. I'm going to let Matt Cisneros bless you.
Yeah, that's conceptually, I agree with that. I would say, unless you're a telemarketer, I wouldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say
Close first.
Close first. No, you're going to close. But more than that, I mean, people get sales calls every single day, over and over and over. It's kind of differentiating yourself from somewhere else. So it's more about just letting them talk and seeing how you can help them. You're not necessarily going to always close the first time. So don't blow it on your initial call, on your initial approach. Just know that don't be a total loser, and be nice to people, and good stuff comes.
Yeah, and this clearly isn't from the Dave Ruff School of Business, but if it was, if you haven't seen my textbook, my first step is usually don't blow it.
Yeah.
So that's got to be your first step. Don't blow this. And then closing isn't a step. Closing is a mentality. Closing is a lifestyle. And if you need that, if you need to read that in a textbook, which people know me, they know that I don't believe in textbooks. I'm more of an experienced guy, learn by doing. Still buy my textbook that I referenced earlier. You just have to go out there and do it. Mattis, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I mean, I would. I think that I get what this guy's saying in that. What he say? He said, "I think this is a bunch of bullshit." I think the problem with this stuff is like you learn it in like some class, and there's like a bunch of like cheesy salespeople that just like aren't actually, like, most salespeople suck at sales. Like if you listen to Matt on a sales call, like Matt's not just like picking up the phone making like generic sales calls. Like most of like our top like business partners, I guess you would call them, Matt's like text message friends with. Like it's like a different, it's different than people think. You're not like trying to be a salesman. It's like you're just like trying to, it's like, hey, we do this stuff over here. What do you do? Oh shit, I bet we could like do this thing with our stuff that like helps you with your stuff, and then like, oh, there's a deal, it's closed.
Right.
So but looking at this is like, it all makes sense. Establish rapport. Yes, you have to like genuinely establish rapport. Like you want to be like, if you don't establish rapport, then nobody is going to want to fucking talk to you. But you also can't like aggressively try to like to establish rapport. You have to be authentic. And then like needs discovery, that's just like a buzzword-esque way of saying like, figure out what the fuck the person wants.
Right.
Like how are they gonna benefit from this relationship you're trying to close? and then make presentation, explain to them your plan of how you're going to benefit them with the thing that you're, how you're going to create something that's mutually beneficial. And then if you do that well, then you close. Like Dave said, it's not a step. It just fucking happens.
Yeah, drop that class.
Yeah.
Man,
I'd like to have a word with that professor.
Man, reading this is giving me like PTSD because I don't perform sales calls. I'd much rather sell behind a computer screen to thousands of people at a time with like an email or something.
Joe's B2C.
But yeah, I've been the recipient of many of these sales calls, and it's kind of making me sad because I'm playing them back in my head and seeing all 4 of these steps, and I'm realizing that like Jim from Marketing Solutions didn't really give a shit about my vacation.
Fuck you, Jim.
Like,
Actually, I think Jim was the anonymous.
yeah, fucking Jim.
This is the same sales class that fucking teaches salespeople to do the like cold email and then 2 days later follow up and be like, hey, I never heard back from you. It's like, yeah, you didn't fucking hear back from me because you just sent me a cold email.
All right, Madison.
And
this
I
will
don't
be
know
my
who the hell
last
you are,
attempt.
and I don't want your marketing widget dashboard.
Yeah,
So
then
fuck off.
They've recently started GIFs in the sales emails.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
gotten those. Dude,
God.
you know they're
The Liam Neeson.
you know they're absolutely people who want to sell us something who do the research and listen to this podcast, and they're jotting down notes so hard right
I
now.
know. But
But
it's still obvious if somebody's
I
just
respect
trying.
that.
If you're a salesperson, like your goal is not to like. You can't think of it as like the goal is to sell somebody something. Sales sales is almost like I like business development as a term for sales better than sales because
Right.
business development is more accurate like for what real salespeople do,
Well,
and sales just has like such a bad connotation.
Yeah, I was
think.
just gonna say like the idea of sales, like at least how it's like presented here, and I'm assuming in a lot of classes is it's presented in a way where it's like you have to like trick somebody into thinking they want what you have. It's like like you can't just email me a funny Kenny Powers gif and suddenly I realize I need your innovative marketing suite with social media support and
But it does everything. It does
omni-channel.
10 things in one, Joe.
That
Yeah.
shit works for
It'll
me.
automate-
but I'm only
but not
doing
Joe.
2 of
It
those
will
things.
automate everything that you need to do daily. It'll save you like 10 times.
Then you're just gonna fire me if I get something that
Can you
automates
forward-
everything.
can you
I don't want
forward
to. I
me
don't want
that-
something.
that lead.
What was that?
Forward me that sales lead.
Yeah, I don't want to find something too convenient because then you'll just realize
You're
that
obsolete.
I just make everything sound way harder than it actually is.
Do
so
it for the
nobody
company,
else
man.
Can do it.
I'm waiting for the sale. Like if you're out there and you're working for a company that has the like artificial intelligence brand and marketing manager, send that
VP,
my way.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Come
VP.
on, man.
That's it. Well, you have to pay for the upgrade for the.
Oh yeah. That's
We probably get by with
yeah. All right.
the
Well,
base package.
so
I can share a little story, and it involves Big T-shirt Matt.
I like stories.
I'm sure a lot of the listeners remember our little fun trip down to a TGI Fridays. Where was that?
That was in Corpus
In
Christi.
Corpus
Texas.
Christi.
That was a hell of a business deal.
That was just start to finish an organic deal. Remember that? So we wrote a thing about they were opening up a new TGI Fridays. It's like business lunch friendly. And I think they just want to go by Fridays now. So sorry about that. So anyway, long story short, they saw it and they liked it. So they reached out and I was like, oh, yeah, that's tight. And I'll send this to Matt. So forwarded it to Matt. Next thing you know, Matt, Will DeFries, and I are we're in the back of a Tahoe with the driver driving us down to Corpus Christi for the grand opening of this thing with their like C-level execs. And like it's like their whole new initiative. Like we met the CEO.
His name is Ricky.
Man, we fucking loved Ricky.
He's actually no longer there, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Like we almost got like some sort of actual like partnership, like ad business out of it. But
It's coming.
Well,
that's still a deal we're working. But unfortunately,
the
Matt
agency.
built rapport. He established step one in the sales pipeline with Ricky, the former CEO of Fridays, and then Ricky got let go. So
He probably got a hell of a golden parachute, and and with that parachute, probably a lot of apps.
Yeah.
I heard that was part of the deal. Endless apps.
401k, yeah, all like severance, 6 months, and also cheese sticks.
They make a hell of a Bloody Mary.
Ricky's probably doing okay.
for life.
No, and then like the agency that connected us with, like we're still doing business with, to my knowledge.
That was Nick from Zeno.
Oh, Zeno.
Shout
Okay,
out,
that's
Nick.
right. So
I miss Nick. I wish he'd come down to Austin.
He'll be here. We'll invite him.
Come on down.
Come
Nick.
on the cast.
Yeah,
Come
so
on,
Nick's
he would be a good guest.
Yeah.
Nick's now just a buddy who, handles Natty Light, who we work with, TGI Fridays, a couple other brands.
That's an interesting one. So that was like that was the Fridays deal came about just through like organic interaction with content that we created, and then Matt, you kind of like jumped in on that. Like, I need to go on this thing and go meet some people, shake some hands. You did that. You met the CEO, and then you met Nick from Zeno, their PR firm,
Right.
and then parlayed the Nick relationship into, hey, what else are you working on? Oh, we're working on Natty. Oh, Natty's perfect for
We
our
closed
audience.
down a
Let's
Holiday
do-
Inn Express bar.
We did. Nick and I talked for a couple hours, just talking business.
That's where there was a question like, where is the best place to do business? And we said anywhere. Case in point.
Holiday Inn Express is the answer.
Yep, Holiday Inn Express bar.
Smoking cigarettes.
Boom.
We weren't smoking. I'm kidding. Would never do that. Let's move on. This is a good one. I think this is from Kyle Banduho. How many sizes do I need to go up in my wardrobe before people refer to me as Big T-shirt Kyle?
How big is Kyle? Do you know?
He's like my size.
How big a boy are you?
How big? Kyle, I'd say go up 2 so you can grow into it and you'll still have room to be big. So I'd say probably go XL.
Medium to XL or large to XX.
Right.
That's
And
the standard rule.
If you're a large, don't go up 2. You can't do it. That's
So
way
you just
too
go
big.
large to XL. Okay.
Large to XL. If you're an XL,
Okay.
lose weight.
Oh shit.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Joe's
guys.
an XL.
Ooh, Joe.
But he's a tall
Joe's tall.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
There aren't many people
Cool,
tall.
Matt.
Like, I'm 6'2", and I'm not used to like looking up at people or even really looking eye level with most people. So like anytime there's like someone taller than me, it always weirds me out.
yeah. If the XL's for the height, that's one thing, but for the width, a little different.
Yeesh.
Might,
Guys like-
might be a little both. I don't know.
It's all right.
But yeah, thanks. Matt, that is how you don't get invited to another podcast.
You look great in that XL.
Thanks, man.
Guys like me, the only Excel we'll ever see is a spreadsheet.
Hey,
What do you think about that?
business jokes.
Hey, what have been your biggest deals, and how did you come about them? That's how it's worded. I don't know.
Go
what,
about them?
Poorly worded, but a good question. Thank you for that.
I wouldn't necessarily identify a big deal as monetary as much as I would.
That's confidential, motherfucker.
Right. As
They're
much
all
as I would
big.
like a relationship. It's meeting somebody who you do business with or work with that, at least in Rowdy Gentlemen, would be kind of an iconic retailer who. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just off the top of my head, there's just been so many deals. It's hard to pick.
What a
the
problem.
significant. There's been a lot of interesting ones, but like think about like Ryan Simpson, and because it's like kind of, it's not really like a deal, but it's like a result of developing business. It was like
Right.
St. Bernard, and then
Ryan
it's like
claims he came to Grandex because of me, which makes me feel good.
he did because Matt got us. Matt built the relationship with Ryan when he was at St. Bernard's when we were first pushing Rowdy Gentlemen to retail. Ryan picked up Rowdy Gentlemen for St. Bernard, and then over time we developed a good relationship with Ryan. I mean, mainly spearheaded through Matt developing the relationship, and then it led to us being like, hey, we need a buyer for Man Outfitters, and we knew Ryan really well. We knew he like understood all our shit really well, and it was like we were all just like, we got to get Ryan,
That's how it
and
worked.
we got him.
More than that, I'd say it's like I said, finding that one account who kind of a benchmark account. So, for instance, with us right now, the first one that comes to mind is Perlis, which is in New Orleans, also in Baton Rouge. But that's someone that I can say that name across any store in the country, and they're respected. So just doing business with them is super important to us and allows us to kind of brag that we're partners with those guys, and opens up more doors. And they may not be our biggest account, but they're still somebody that's an asset to us in terms of opening new accounts.
And that's really like the strategic side of it is like, it's
Right.
like, yeah, it's like this thing over here might not be like some game changer from a direct revenue standpoint, but it might put us in a position to do a lot more in a certain area. Or whatever.
Definitely. It validates us because a lot of people follow what they do, and if we're part of what they do, then it makes us look really good.
Right.
I've got a spin on this answer. Let me give you two. First of all, my biggest deal, probably the PGP deal that landed me here.
What about the real one?
The what? Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later. Speaking of big deals, so the PGP deal that landed me here was the one that landed me here. I don't even know how to. I don't know how to follow that up.
Dave started a Twitter account.
Yeah, Twitter has had jokes and stuff. You guys probably follow it. Hopefully
that led to being successful and opening doors and opportunities for him, and allowing him to not have to be a 9-to-5 or round-the-clock lawyer. You can
now I'm just an 8 to 6
bill
frat
in
blog
hours.
lawyer guy.
Right, yeah, no hours billed. It's just billing business.
And at the end of the day, you should be billing business. But if you want to get an A+ in your class, you should say, don't think about what your biggest deal was, because even the smallest deal can become a big deal down the road. So they're all deals, and they're all big deals.
Hey,
All deals matter.
I got some knowledge for you.
ADM.
You know what the biggest deal is? The next one.
Ooh,
That's a great
Boom.
answer.
I like your philosophy.
Take your textbook and rip it up.
Yep.
Like, do it like right now if you're reading at home.
Past deals don't matter.
That's like a $800 textbook.
It is. Actually,
do
go
that.
sell it
Don't
back
do
to the
that.
bookstore. They'll give
But
you
yeah.
$20 for it, if that.
The next one. Dude,
We should do an episode. We should get somebody on who's like a textbook expert, because that's such a crazy industry. Like that.
Textbooks.
It's
Yeah.
being changed a lot right
I
now.
fucking hope it is. I
We
remember
got
going back.
ripped.
I remember going back with like my $400 whatever casebook and like, oh well, we'll give you $1 for that.
Oh my god.
Oh,
we
why
have-
don't you just fist me?
I feel like I used to get a lot of money back when I would sell like a couple
That's over.
$100.
Wait,
when
no,
it's-
you know what it is? You know what it is now is
Renting.
Well, yeah, renting is a thing, but still it's
digital,
fuck-
right?
It's so there's still a lot of textbooks, and this was like really coming up like right as I capped off my 5.3 years in the collegiate experience. The textbook will change pretty much every year. Usually it's just like a couple commas and stuff. So you could get by on an old version of the actual textbook, but what like Pearson and some like individual professors are doing is there's like an online software package. You have to buy a license key, and that is not transferable. It lasts a year, and most of the time that costs a couple $100
That's
right off the
such
bat.
a fucking scam.
Well, and then they say, oh, it's page 64, and in your book, if you use the old one, it's page
Right.
62.
Right.
So you just never
The whole
know.
that is it's such a fucking racket. That's like one small aspect of the racket
Yeah.
of college.
That's at least 15% of the reason I was an English major, because my textbooks are fucking novels that are 100 years old, and I could just buy that
that's
shit
smart.
for $1.
Can
Never
you
thought of that.
Point.
Can you buy textbooks on your like iPad and only use that as your?
I think so now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I remember this is like really shitty of me as a son, but because like my parents paid for most of my college. I had to take out some student loans, but they paid for most of it. They paid for like my books and shit like that.
TFM.
And and I remember I was like a terrible student, and like there were some classes, like I would design my schedule using pickaprof.com to make sure I found like the professors who were reviewed as like giving the most A's, and like kids being like, yeah, I didn't even have to go except for test days. And I had some classes that I only went on test days, and there were classes where I would like not even crack the book open. And so I would like buy all of my books because my parents were paying for it. And I remember selling back books that I never even opened. They were like brand new.
Ugh.
But you'd make like some cash.
I don't want to put you on blast, but you were a good student because I took a psychology class with you. An upper level one where we had that younger chick.
No, you know
she
what? I
kinda
was a
hot.
good student for one semester. I got a 3.6.
I think that was my pledge
Took your
semester when
overall
I
up.
was.
Yeah. So here's the deal.
I sat behind you and was scared as shit you were gonna haze me.
No, and actually, no, I genuinely enjoyed psychology. That's why I
You
majored
asked
in it.
questions. You sat
Yeah.
like at the front. We're
'Cause
like raising your hand. I was like, who is this guy?
Because I genuinely enjoyed psychology, and you also caught me. I know it was when you were pledging. Yeah, that was all right. Because my first semester of freshman year, I got a 1.36 GPA,
Frat.
and then I was like, "Fuck!" Like I need to like actually do this, and then I got a 3.6 GPA, and then I was like, "Oh, I can do it," and then I just like fucked off the rest of school and graduated with like a 2.8.
If
You
I-
remember that teacher? Sorry, she was hot. Who was she?
I do. No, now that you say it,
Shout
I
out to
remember.
her.
Yeah, no, but like.
What's she doing these days?
Who knows?
Probably
We'll look
teaching.
that up. We'll have Micah look that up.
Yeah.
Hey, find that
Yeah.
professor. She's probably real happy.
Thanks, Mike.
Can't believe you called me out for being a good student.
No, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a
Trying
good
to like
thing. Look
keep
at
up
you.
an image here.
No, dude, you had one semester. Do you know how frat that is to go hard one semester?
I
and
just
then
had to
blow
prove that I wasn't an idiot,
It? Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I can do it.
it's like if somebody had to go retake K through 12 so they could take over their dad's successful hotel chain. It's the same thing.
Just like that.
It's very similar. Matt, you had something probably better than what we just offered.
Oh no, I remember if I got a 3.0, I felt like I won the lottery. It was a big deal. I think I graduated. My major GPA was like a 3.2.
Matt and I were both masters of cheating in high school. we used to see how small we could make cheat sheets on our computers, and we would have like these little tiny like 1 inch by 1 inch pieces of paper that would have like 50 letter answers for like Scantron answers, and we'd like somehow Matt was the one that would always like figure out how to finagle a test like beforehand.
Okay.
Somehow set it up, and then
I've
like
always been fascinated by that.
this is
The
yeah.
myth. I always think, especially with fraternities, like it's like,
No.
dude,
This
we've got
was
a badass test
I-
bank. Like nobody
I
has
didn't
a
even
badass
I didn't
test
cheat in
bank.
college. Well, I did a little cheating in college, but in high school, I cheated on every. Like I did not take any tests without cheating. I don't think.
Yeah, I can imagine right now. One time, I stole a test from this sweet guy. He looked like Mr. Rogers. He was so nice, and went out to whatever it's called, the second floor, and we all wrote down the answers real quick and took it back. And I feel shitty to this day because that guy was just trying to educate us, and we completely screwed
We weren't having any of that.
Yeah, you weren't.
Dude, you
What?
probably made his day. He's like, wow, these guys fucking nailed it.
Right.
we would make
reached
these little
them.
pieces of paper, and then the move was like after you were finished with the test, you would eat it.
Yeah. Oh, I have a really shitty cheating story. Shouts to Miss Thomas at Austin High. I remember someone gave us an answer to a test, and it was a word that wasn't a real word. So Rich Musselman, myself, and someone else wrote that word. And so she came up to us next class and said, so how'd you guys get the answer to this? And we're like, well, that's the answer. It's just that word. What does that word mean? None of us knew because it didn't exist. It was just a made up word. And I ended up telling her if she didn't want to be a teacher and couldn't take this, that it was her fault that we had to in turn cheat because she didn't make us happy in what we were learning.
Whoa, that
What
has
the fuck?
turned the tables.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
what
really
you do in public school.
Wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened?
Wait,
after
what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Joe went to like hardcore Catholic school, so this is
Yeah.
probably blowing his mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
they get
felt,
away with worse now.
I felt really, I still do. I need to run by Austin High and say sorry about that one. But yeah, I was a shitty kid. And then I grew up kind of.
Kind
Did
of.
she cry?
No, I think she kind of looked at me like, what the are you serious? Like, you're the shitty kid who just cheated on a test.
Dude, I'd be having nuns like bursting down the door and like breaking out the rulers.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
bad.
It's just, yeah. I mean, but God, it's so fucking terrible. Do you remember how slow time went when you were sitting in high school class?
It was the worst.
It was like being in prison.
Yeah. And Fridays, we'd kind of half day and go drink beer.
Fuck you. I was wearing a tie every day. I had deans walk around to our homeroom classes every couple weeks and look at guys' haircuts because if they touched your eyes, ears, or collar, they'd give you a detention on the spot for your haircut. They're like measuring girls' skirts. Don't you fucking tell me
It's so
it was
crazy.
like a prison.
It's so crazy because my dad went to like hardcore Catholic school back in like the 60s. I think 60s or 70s, and he had like the same stories, and it was like when you told me that, I was like, man, I thought that was like an old school.
Well, they don't beat us anymore,
Yeah.
so that's good.
No, they used to beat them.
But God forbid the top the top button on your Oxford shirt's undone, or you're getting marched down to the dean, or you're getting like written up like right there on the spot.
Well, man, I kind of feel bad because I was like doing bits, getting sent home for wearing "if you can't beat it, suck it" shirts.
Yeah.
One time in ninth grade, I took. A lot of people don't know this. 7th and 8th grade, I was in. I did theater contests. Like we would do improv. Like me and this guy Richie Pennington. We were funny. We would win these. We'd go to these speech tournaments and do theater contests and stuff. And then in 9th grade, we took advanced theater. And it was like dramatic acting, and we hated it, and we were like terrible at it because like all we did was like we went up there and just like basically stole Norm Macdonald bits and stuff from Saturday Night Live. And the professor was this guy, Mr. Craddock, and we used to call him Mr. Radcock because it's Craddock. And he didn't think that was funny, and he made us stop doing that. Then one day he came in and he was all happy, and he was like, "I've got an announcement. You guys, we found out today, my wife and I, we were having our first child." And everybody was like clapping and stuff. And Richie goes, "That's really awesome. Congratulations, Mr. Craddock. Who's the father?" And it's to this day, I was just like, that's the ballsiest
genius.
thing. Like in front of a class, like some shitty little ninth grader in high school.
Yeah, that's ballsy.
So shout out to Mr. Radcock.
What's Richie doing these days?
I think he's. I don't know where Richie's at.
Give us a shout, Richie.
We're Facebook friends. I could actually look that up. Hold on a sec. No, I'm kidding. What were we talking about?
Business
and stuff. Okay, last question. This is a good one. When should I take my internship off of my resume? I'm 2.5 years out of college and have worked at the same company since I graduated. I had an internship while still in school and 2 positions at my current company. I'm looking to move to a new job in a new industry. Parentheses. Do not like the cyclical nature of the O&G, that's oil and gas industry, and was wondering if my internship is still relevant to have on my resume. This is a good question.
I'll kick that one off. I think it depends what the company is. If it's like Exxon, then leave it because it shows you've worked in a large company that's publicly traded and you've dealt with a lot of different situations. Yeah, if it's irrelevant to your next job, then I think your 2.5 years of experience is probably sufficient.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a general rule here. Honestly, like I think like with the resume, what you're trying to do is just tell somebody a story about like your professional past. So whatever tells the story. If it was like I went to this school and then I got this internship and then I got this job, like I don't think you need to drop an internship because if you've like I understand like the feelings probably like the internship's like not legit. Like when do I have enough like professional history to drop it? But I think it looks good to like I would personally want to know like the whole story of progression from college to internship to job like it. And a lot of people don't have legit internships. So if it's a good one and that was like the stepping stone to get a job, and that's like tells a good story.
Yeah, I think one way to think about it is you're selling yourself on paper. So
yep.
Is it beneficial for that person to see this for you or not?
Well,
yeah,
and
just a snapshot of your story.
Yeah, if you did something at that internship that's in any way applicable to what you want to do, like outside of oil and gas, leave it on there because even if it's like I interned for 5 months and did XYZ there, if it's if you can use that and kind of spin it and build an argument that it would help you in this new career, then leave it on there.
It's also a talking point when you finally get that interview.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say too, like with him saying that he wants to switch industries, something to keep in mind for like anybody that wants to switch industries is like business is like all the same. So like just because you're in oil and gas doesn't mean you have like zero experience or like all of your experience is irrelevant to the next thing you move to. The important thing is to like figure out how to explain what is relevant about the things that you did that you can apply to the next thing. So like I used to do that with psychology as my major whenever I was like interviewing, like I wasn't getting psychology jobs, but I was like, understanding people is, whatever, but like it's all the same shit. So like all the stuff that you learned, you're going to apply those learnings to the new thing in a new industry. So you just got to figure out how to like explain that.
Yeah. And look at me. I mean, I did oil and gas in West Texas for a couple years. and now I ask people what they are going to have for dinner on a website. So I mean, it all just kind of works itself out. But
Yeah,
and you
but-
know what? If you leave the company, I just thought of this. You intern at a company, and if, like Matt said, it's a big company or a noted company, there's a chance that this person in this new career may know people there. So it's a good talking point, and it may end up being like, oh yeah, I know somebody who was at Exxon. That did you work under? Dale?
Nobody's gonna look at the
Yeah.
internship and say he put an internship on there.
You-
Get the
Right.
fuck.
Here's
You
the
dumb
thing.
piece, you dumbass
Yeah.
loser.
The other
It can't
thing
hurt.
is 2.5 years into your career, it's not like you're going to get some huge job. So
Not
Don't
with
be-
that
don't-
attitude.
Yeah,
don't
what?
don't be too proud, is what I'm
Wow.
saying. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Dream big, guy or girl, whoever you are.
but be realistic, millennials.
Oh,
Yeah, think
because your job's gonna get taken by
Dude.
a marketing manager robot. Anyways,
that's true. He's a
eventually.
widget dashboard guy,
Yeah.
robot.
I got an email, actually a Instagram message from a kid the other day, selling himself to be an RG
whoa.
salesperson.
Oh, okay. I thought you
No,
were going
no,
a
it
different
wasn't
way with
going.
that.
No.
It's not legal.
And he was trying to tell me his relevant experience, and kid was 17, and just talking about how he can sell stuff, and he's gonna get all of his girlfriends to pass out promo codes,
Guy has
Which
lots
is-
of girlfriends.
which was great until we said, I want a weekly stipend, I want commission, and I want to sign on.
Oh shit! He threw the demands
Right. I'm like,
into the initial pitch.
how did he know I was looking for a 17-year-old to hire and help us sell stuff?
Right place, right time, man.
Exactly.
That is, yeah. That's a little aggressive.
Yeah, so-
But it does fit
You know?
with our youth initiative of 2017. We're trying to get more like under 18ers in the business.
Is
are those
legal?
tweeners?
We need the tween.
It's going to be for the launch of our tween site, right?
Tween
box.
outfitters.
not quite a man outfitters.
Tween outfitters
Tween
or rowdy
outfitters.
tweens.
Argumentative teen outfitters.
Yeah.
Pubescent outfitters.
There's so many possibilities, man. Okay, well that's all our questions. I gotta give a shout out to our listener Allie. So Allie's I think she's a student at UTK. She got Dudes Doing Business approved as her weekly business podcast by whatever class she's taking,
Oh,
some kind of
man.
business class.
Oh man.
We
Dude,
let
shout
her
out
down.
to the professor who approved it.
Yeah, I'll have him on. Get him on.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
He's probably listening too. And she said, as a part of an assignment, I had to have one celebrity connection on LinkedIn. Obviously, I used you, talking about me.
Aw.
Her professor looked her straight in the eye and said, "Deal closers only." I don't know how
No
much of this is
way.
true.
If that's true, that's fantastic.
I don't know, Allie. She sounds like a nice young lady. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to assume it's true.
Allie, yeah. Don't give us any reason to doubt that, Allie. But thank you for listening.
And to that professor, I'm sorry for shitting on school as hard as I did on this episode.
wow.
Yeah, and all those textbooks you've written.
Yeah,
yeah, those are probably good. Sorry.
Also, don't cheat on tests.
Don't cheat on tests.
Don't
And,
rip up your
uh,
textbook.
Yeah, don't drop out of college. What else did we
Buy
do?
Dave's textbook though.
Buy my textbook, but buy his as well.
I would
use
buy
mine as a
Dave's
supplement.
textbook.
Mine's like a supplemental thing.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
optional one where it's like they tell you you don't need it, but and you feel like a dickhead for not buying it.
I've
you
never felt like a dickhead.
Oh, okay. Well, law school it'll make you feel like a dickhead. They'll tell you like, you don't need this. And you're like, okay, what curveball are you gonna throw at me? I'm gonna look like an asshole in front of the class if I didn't read this book. But yeah, thanks, Allie. What else we got? Oh, I know. We need some new reviews. We haven't had a good review in a
Dude,
while. The top
review-
review's tight right now.
Reviews are a little bit on a drought lately. We've only had a couple. We haven't actually had any reviews in 2017.
That's bad.
Oh,
you know, but I will say, maybe as a little incentive for you guys, we're gonna start reading a couple of the ones we really like. So obviously, do a good job and don't suck at the reviews.
Yeah.
But
Do we
stars,
have any to
please.
read?
yeah, I picked out a couple that I liked. This is our most recent one, who was by someone named Anthony Weiner's cousin.
Is that Micah's?
That's a cross podcast reference.
It's a distant
right there.
relative of Mike.
Subject. The
Alleg-
subject line is DCO, and here's what he said: if you enjoy listening to two dudes and their boss talk about the grunge era, this podcast is for you. What a glowing endorsement!
Yeah, that's true. That pretty much sums up what our goal was when we started this podcast.
That's what we wrote down as like the synopsis of what this podcast was going to be about. I actually had never heard the term grunge era
Yeah,
I guess maybe it's like particular to music. But
Nirvana,
I like just
Pearl
referring.
Jam.
I like referring to that time period as the grunge era,
Hey,
Yeah.
not just not specific to the music.
I failed to mention this earlier, but in high school one time, like my high school girlfriend bought me a shirt. To this day, I don't know why, and it was a Jim Morrison shirt. I was never into the Doors, never into Jim Morrison. It's like him shirtless,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it says Jim Morrison on the top, and on the bottom it says American Poet. And she like handed it to me, and I just started laughing in her face. She's like, "You don't like it?" I was like, I don't. Is this for my dad? Like, what am I gonna do with this? I never wore it. I think I donated it. That's just a little fun story that happened. But
I'm a big Doors fan.
are you?
Not in high school.
Break on
I think I
through.
got into them in college.
Oh, I bet you did.
Hey.
You got another review, Joe? Sorry, Madison.
Yeah, Uncle Leonard 15 said the cast for closers. These dudes know business. CEO is basically the Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mahatma.
Mahatma
Gandhi.
Rest
Of
in peace.
introspective business, and D-Ruff chills the most. I've made all the money since subscribing, so do the same if you're a fan of material things. I don't appreciate being left out of that one.
Yeah, why?
But, Madison's voice has just been getting a lot of compliments lately.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never been compared to Gandhi, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you're the Gandhi of frat blogging and party tanks.
This guy made all the money, though. That's interesting. I was wondering where all the money went.
And last one, this is from Dr. Texas. Probably not his real name.
Tejas, actually. I know
Yeah.
this guy.
Subject is business and finance, like spelled like phonetically like that. Business and finance.
So this is a based review?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Madison told me he would buy me enchiladas perfectos from Maudie's for a 5-star review. Too bad I have to drive all the way to Lakeway to get it. In all honesty, it's a great podcast. # business wins. So I hope you don't have to. You just have some dude showing up at your door asking you to buy him enchiladas.
Well, he lives in a gated community, so he's probably
There
okay.
you go. There you go.
If you're not on the list,
Buzz
With a,
me in.
with a
Nope.
security guard.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
But yeah,
But,
little
yeah,
sneak peek.
it sounds like way nicer than it actually is. It's like out in the burbs.
Yeah, but they're like really, really nice birds.
The nicest of verbs.
Burbs are good. But yeah, that's all I got. Leave us some more.
Yeah, give us 5 stars. Just tell us what's
5.
up.
5 stars.
We want 5 stars.
Yeah.
Matt, where can we find you on social media?
Twitter, Matt Cisneros. That's Cisneros. Instagram, Matthew Cisneros. And LinkedIn, Matt Cisneros.
Are you a member of DCO Nation?
Of course, I'm actually the vice president.
VP. Madison, what about you?
Madison Wickham on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Joe.
Joe Nullet on Twitter. JP Nullet on Instagram. Joe Nullet on LinkedIn. Keep them coming.
Micah. Oh, just kidding. You don't have a mic.
Oh,
No, he'll plug it on the write up. And I'm Dave. At DCarterRuff on Twitter, at DCarterRuff on Snap, at DCRuff on Instagram. Most importantly, we referenced this a second ago. Please join DCO Nation. It's a movement. A lot of people are talking about it. LinkedIn, David Ruff. I work at Grandex. I need to change my picture. It's been the same photo since law school.
get on it.
I don't know what to do, though, because you don't want to be like the try-hard guy on LinkedIn with like the party pic.
Yeah.
But
Why
most
don't
of my
you
pics
do
are party
your-
pics.
Do your Twitter avatar.
Oh, that reminds me of
That is a good idea.
That reminds
Yeah.
me of the last Joe Rogan episode. Ah.
Oh, which one? Let's hear it.
No, I'm just kidding. We
Oh,
almost
damn it.
just didn't want us to get away from a whole podcast.
Well,
without a
yeah,
Joe
that would be a
Rogan
shame. You know, it's
reference.
funny. Tasha, our dear employee here, she sent me a podcast recommendation today, and the guest on it was Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who's a frequent guest on Joe Rogan. It all comes full circle.
6
all
degrees of
connected.
podcast separation.
all
yeah,
connected.
time's a flat circle. That's right. Okay, well, hey, we appreciate you listening. Thanks to Matt for joining us. I think we had a good podcast there,
Thank you.
and thank you for listening.
Fun times.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.